everybody. 10th of April. 10th of April. Good morning. Lost Ark Day. Happy Sunday. Lost Ark Day. We'll be chilling out. We'll see if we pivot. There's a chance for some nightfall, but I don't know. Probably just a Lost Ark Day, but we'll see. It's good to see everybody. Hope your day has been going well. Hope your weekend's been going well. Yeah. Let's do what we do every day and take a look at what is going on in the gaming world. So we'll take a look at gaming news before we hop into our gameplay. Cool. See what we can find here. Camera. How about that? Cool. Dead Redemption 2 screenshot wins virtual photographer of the year. Nice. If we do this, never leave your bed again. The motorized bed lets you rest your gamer head. Just plug yourself into the Matrix, dude. You know, who needs a bed when you can just soak in a tub of formaldehyde, plug yourself into the Matrix, you know, be, feeding tubes. It's over. What more do you need? Uh, Here's why Nintendo doesn't want you using the word Nintendo to describe video games. We'll take a look at that. We'll see what that's about. Okay. We'll pull this up. So we'll take a quick look at what this is. RimWorld to have its refused classification ruling in Australia reviewed. So we read about this earlier in the year, or right at the end of last year, where basically RimWorld has been pulled everywhere in Australia. And it was because of certain things in the game that did not align with what Australia's rating policy has in place for entertainment. Yeah, as far as like drugs and I think there was it's like something to do with like religion and stuff like that too. Just practices, you know, because there's a lot of different things that can go on in RimWorld. Not just religion. It's like even along the lines of like slavery and stuff like that. I think that can happen in RimWorld. But we'll take a quick look and see what happens. Okay, I'm not gonna pull this up, but this is good. Steam now has over 2,000 verified and playable games for Steam Deck. That's good. So verified games are games that are actually like configured to work on Steam Deck, whereas playable is are games that you can play on Steam Deck but might not be necessarily optimized for the platform. Yeah, we read about this yesterday. I like that. What is this, dude? Head of Games London Metaverse can only be designed by white guys. What? See what that's about. We've already read about PS3. Certain PS3 games are expiring with like this date of 1970 or something, where it's like they're getting this expiration date of 1970, and you can no longer play the games because we're obviously the date that we have is way beyond 1970. PlayStation's got to figure that out. Dude, the only thing I can figure about this gaming bed stuff is that they are actually like getting like working in conjunction, maybe even purchasing articles from these websites to be written about these. The articles about these beds are everywhere, dude. Every single day. What? What? I don't understand. Read about this yesterday. It's awesome. New Subnautica game is in development. That's super cool. Let's change this up. Sonic 2's director is game to direct a Super Smash Bros. Movie. Be wild. That'd be wild. Star Trek Prodigy Supernova video game announced. We'll take a look at what that is for any of our Trek fans, or for anybody that just might find it interesting and might want to play it. GameStop is reportedly canceling Amico pre-orders at Intellivision's request. I think I know what this is. Baldur's Gate 3 was so huge, or is so huge, Larian chose to triple in size rather than shrink the game. Wow. Wild. Yeah, we'd already was it Returnal, right? Is the one that was the big winner at BAFTA for the awards. Yeah, and Fortnite, man, Epic and Fortnite, they raised $144 million for relief efforts in Ukraine, man. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Like, I mean, say what you will. I'm not a fan of Fortnite. I've never played a single session of Fortnite. It just does not seem like the game for me. But I respect what Fortnite is as a game, and that it has the player base that it has, and the people that it does reach, and it's very popular. I respect that. You can't not respect the fact that uh, they literally took every single amount of profit that came from the game for that amount of time and just gave it straight over to Ukraine for relief efforts. Man, that's amazing. It's amazing. Good on them. Red Dead Redemption 2 screenshot wins virtual photographer of the year. That's actually a really sick screenshot, dude. That's really nice. The winning entry was submitted by Joe Mezies, featured a silhouette figure on a horseback. All entries were displayed around Trafalgar Square as part of the London Games Festival, which ends on April 10th. Challenge celebrates the new artistic medium of virtual photography, where creators can bring video game design and virtual worlds to life. From a stunning landscape to intimate portrait, candid street to abstract architecture, or historical to sci-fi fantasy, said London Games Festival. Competition was supported by NVIDIA Studio and the Fourth Focus, with the latter, providing the judging for the content. All entries submitted to the contest have been made available in a Google Drive folder, including other shots from Red Dead Redemption 2, Horizon Forbidden West, and The Last of Us Part 2. The exhibition, let's see. No, it's just really neat, man. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, look. What I'll say, I'm not going to read all of that. If anybody wants to read the rest of what this article has to offer, look at the rest of the art or anything like that, or the screenshots that people submitted. There's the link in chat. The there is no doubt that um, entertainment as a whole, in our ability to use technology to um, create very stunning visual graphics, has come a significant um, distance. Even over the past like 5 to 10 years, it's just incredible. And now you take a look at we looked at a shot the other day of like what they are doing with the new Unreal Engine 5, right? And it looks lifelike. It looks lifelike. It's incredible. So uh, now it that does not mean that every single game needs to um, utilize said graphics in order to be a good game. Not at all. There are very charming, amazing games with incredible gameplay out there that are built on pixel graphics, pixel art, and that are fantastic. But there are some games out there that have amazing, visuals that are presented to the player. And quite often, I love just taking screenshots when I play games. Um, just here and there, if I find something really beautiful, and I'm really kind of taken by it, in the moment of the game. I love taking screenshots. So, um, yeah, it's neat that they're starting to do this thing where maybe they're giving people an opportunity to show off the not only the environments that they're being exposed to within the game, but the hard work that the developers are putting into the games themselves, right? So it's kind of like a win-win here. Very cool. Here's why Nintendo doesn't want you using the word Nintendo to describe video games. If you trundled around the internet for as long as we have, you may have come across a 1990 store poster from Nintendo correcting its users on how to use the word Nintendo. While this ad may come across as Mario lecturing your grandmother with a lesson in grammar, when this image first hit the internet, it was just passed off as Nintendo's usual pomposity, a company arrogantly telling its fanbase what they can and can't do. It does, however, have a rather more personal reason for existing. Now, one might think surely calling everything Nintendo would be highly beneficial for the big end. It's free advertising and muscles out the competition. And yes, while it would be more profitable to blitz out rival products, in the world of trademark law, it's quite literally the worst possible thing that can happen to a company. You see, to receive a trademark for your product, service, or company, it has to be a highly specific word. or words to describe it. For instance, you can never trademark the term video game, as it's not only an incredibly broad term to begin with, but it's also part of the public lexicon, a phrase that everyone uses to describe the medium. This all stems from the 1946 U.S. Fritz G. Lanham Trademark Act, where Section 15 contains the clause, no incontestable right shall be acquired in a mark which is the generic name for the goods or service, or a portion thereof for which it is registered. Which in other words means as long as your trademark is unique and remains unique, you're golden. However, unfortunately for businesses, the English language is one that constantly evolves and expands. Even in the past 20 years, multiple product names have become part of the lexicon. When you use a vacuum cleaner, do you call it a Hoover? Do you use sellotape or sticky tape? How often have you looked at an image you suspect is fake online and said that looks photoshopped? Or when asking to search for information to Google it? Yeah. And like to know, both Adobe and Google have made public requests asking their users to alter their phrasing, fearing the same loss. So when a trademarked word does become part of the public lexicon, it's then regarded as being genericized. In other words, an adjective becomes a noun, and when that happens, its usage can be legally changed by anyone. For example, as recently as 2019, Apple lost the rights to trademark the term app and app store after being challenged by Amazon in court so they could use the phrases on their range of tablets. You know what's really funny about this? It used to drive me nuts when I was a kid, and people would go, let's go play some Nintendo. And I'm like, dude, we're going to play, like, video games on an entirely different system. We're not playing Nintendo. Like, we're going to play Sega. Or, like, we're going to, we're going to go play some, like, PC games, okay? Like, because parents would often do that, you guys go play the Nintendo, it's like, we're not playing Nintendo, all right? Get it right, okay? It used to drive me crazy. That makes sense. I see where they're going with that. RimWorld to have its refused classification ruling in Australia reviewed. A decision will be reached later in the month. Um, the Australian Classification Review Board will meet later this month to consider its current refused classification decision on RimWorld, meaning the game could be made available for purchase again. Yeah, because here's the thing. It didn't only, I think what really threw the devs off was like, okay, when it got reviewed, they were expecting it to only be like, what, not, it was either one of these things. It was like either it was going to be not put like out on like consoles like Switch and stuff like that, or but it got ripped off everything. Like it got taken off Steam, it got taken off everything where it was already out in the country. The Australian Review Board will meet on April 20th to consider an application to reclassify RimWorld. The director, Tienan Sylvester, tweeting on April 8th that Ludian Studios has some legal professionals and expert witnesses helping out, so I'm optimistic. According to the Australian Board's website, decisions and reasons regarding the potential updated ruling will be shared here when they are reached. Those who see themselves as an interested party can also write to the convener of the board up until April 18th. RimWorld was given the refused classification rating and thus taken down from sale in Australia following its presentation to the board over a potential console release. Yeah, that's what it was. So it was already out on Steam, I think. And it was like, when it was releasing on consoles, they reviewed it, and then it got ripped. They didn't allow the release on console, and it got ripped off Steam. Like, you can't get it anywhere in Australia now. The group said that RimWorld deals with matters of sex, drug misuse, or addiction, crime, cruelty, violence, or revolting or abhorrent phenomena in such a way that they offend against the standards of morality, decency, and propriety generally accepted by reasonable adults. But it's a video game! The situation around RimWorld is similar to Disco Elysium, as that game was banned from sale in Australia in 2021 before this ban was lifted soon after following a review. The board decided the game has sufficient disincentives to drug use to enable it to be accommodated within the R18 plus classification. Despite Disco Elysium's banned status in Australia, it was only available to purchase. Can you not? Dude, I hate that. Only available to purchase physically, as digital purchases of the game remain unaffected by the decision. Yeah, flipping video game, dude. Head of Games London says Metaverse can't be designed by a bunch of white guys. The more diverse the workforce is, the more diverse those virtual worlds become. Oh, okay. Can't be designed by a bunch of yeah. And dude, I read this wrong when we pulled it up initially. I don't know why. Michael French, head of Games London, has spoken about the need for diversity in all aspects of gaming, including the metaverse. Okay. Games London are currently involved in the London Games Festival, which finishes April 10th. As part of that, the company has put on an exhibition in Trafalgar Square as part of the ensemble. This is where they're doing the art stuff too for gaming. Their initiative to showcase UK games talent from Black, Asian, and underrepresented ethnicities. Consensus results from the games industry that came out earlier this year have made it pretty clear that our workforce has some diversity to it, but it is not diverse enough, said French. According to that consensus, which saw 3,600 industry professionals take part, currently 67% of the gaming workforce is male, while 30% are female and 3% are non binary. Additionally, 66% of the workforce reported they are white British, with 24% as white other, 5% as black, 2% as Asian, 2% as mixed, multiple ethnicity, and final 2% as other. According to French, Ensemble was started in 2018 by London Games to help address that balance. We wanted to celebrate these trailblazers from underrepresented backgrounds and tell their stories. Hopefully, that will show others from all over the world that people that look like them work in the sector. I think that's the only way we can change that talent ratio over time. French describes Ensemble as just the right thing to do. I can measure and record all of the wins we get during the festival, but actually uplifting these people that haven't had the chance to tell their story is incredibly rewarding. After London Games Festival ends, Ensemble will tour, but according to French, there's always more to do. We want to do more with mentoring and creating more pathways into gaming. There's a project that Film London runs called the Equal Access Network, which has done amazing work in terms of getting people from different disadvantaged backgrounds into positions in film and TV. That's the direction of travel for us. We're all talking about the big boom in gaming. That popularity means more people want to work here, but we need to create those pathways for people from all backgrounds to get into this industry. Also, the more diverse the workforce is, the more diverse those virtual worlds become, added French. We're all talking about the metaverse at the moment, but the metaverse cannot just be designed by a bunch of white guys. That's ridiculous. We've already talked about. Here's the thing: people keep throwing out the term metaverse. What I really want to know from people is like, what does the metaverse mean to you? You keep spitting out metaverse. Tell me what you think the metaverse is. First and foremost. Cool. Diversity, good. All right, yeah. Um, I'm all about diversity. Let's include everybody because um, it's just unfortunate we even have to have those terms in our vocabulary and have to talk about it all the time, and that people are seen in that uh, any kind of differentiating light because of what color their skin is. It's absolutely insane. But that is the world we live in. Now, let's include all peoples, no matter of, you know, race, sex, religion, what have you. Include all peoples in this industry, in all industries, in the world. Equal rights. Let's go. Now tell me what you think the metaverse is. You keep spitting out metaverse here. Now tell me what you think it is. Star Trek Prodigy Supernova video game announced. Star Trek Prodigy is getting its own family-friendly video game. The game banner's up at Mission Chicago this weekend and now has an official announcement from the publisher Outright Games. We don't have many details yet, but it will be available for PC, Xbox One, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. Okay. I was getting ready to say, okay, so it's a Nickelodeon game, yeah. It looks a lot like, did Nickelodeon produce that Star Wars cartoon back in the day? It looks very much the same kind of art style. Star Trek Prodigy Supernova was revealed as the first ever video game based on the recent hit animated series Star Trek Prodigy, which follows the intergalactic adventure of 6 alien teenagers aboard an abandoned Federation starship. Game also marks the first ever Star Trek video game aimed at younger players, bringing gaming to a new generation of Trekkies. Okay. More details on the upcoming game will be shared over the coming months. So we might see more of this in our news, our daily news segment coming up in the next coming months. So we'll try to keep track, see if we see anything new. GameStop is reportedly canceling Amico pre-orders at Intellivision's request. The future of the troubled console continues to be a mystery. GameStop customers have been reporting that their pre-orders for Intellivision's Amico console have been canceled. A number of Twitter users have been posting screenshots of emails they've been receiving from GameStop, which claim Intellivision has asked it to cancel all pre-orders. Dear customer name, the email reads, due to vendor cancellation, we will be unable to fulfill your order number. We will be canceling your order and you will not be charged. Members of the private Intellivision Amico Club have been reporting that they too have had their orders canceled. Another transcribed voicemail they received, which said, I'm just calling regarding your reservation for an Intellivision Amico Galaxy Purple GameStop exclusive. I'll let you know that GameStop has just alerted us they will no longer be releasing the product. It has been completely canceled. Not clear whether Intellivision has canceled all Amigo orders or only those through GameStop. At the time, tech journalist Sam Makovec tweeted that he believed the early closure was about as bright and red a flag as it gets in the world of unreleased tech hardware. My guesses are that Intellivision realized investment momentum had frozen. They get the money sooner if they conclude ASAP. Claiming and spending this money is the last step before bankruptcy filing, he said. Despite this, Intellivision subsequently released an unboxing video and claimed in an email to those who pre-ordered the console directly from the company that it's in negotiations with potential investors and acquirers. The Amico system was initially due to launch in October 2020, but the COVID-19 pandemic pushed this back to April 2021, then again to fall 2021. In August, Intellivision emailed pre-ordered customers, told them it had been delayed for a third time, and would be released on a yet-to-be-confirmed date at the end of 2021, a deadline which has clearly also been since been missed. Company even started selling 8 of its boxed launch games last October, despite the console not yet having a release date. In an extensive interview with VGC last year, then Intellivision CEO Tommy Tallarico explained that the Amico is specifically aimed at families, in that its entire ecosystem and game library revolves around safe, family-friendly gaming. Okay. Well, we'll see how that plays out, but it's not looking fantastic. Last article for today. Baldur's Gate 3 was so huge, or is apparently so huge, that Larian chose to triple in size rather than shrink the game itself. Larian Studios creative director Swin Vink loves collaborative storytelling, especially when there's room for it to get as silly and original as possible. Chatting with me after his GDC talk, the many challenges of making Baldur's Gate 3, Vink and I might be butchering that name there. If I am, I'm sorry. And I start out by sharing our mutual desires to play video games alongside our partners, whether in person or long distance. I tell him that Original Sin 2's online play allowed my partner and I to still have date nights even while living half a country apart. He tells me his own relationship was why the feature exists in the first place. Uh huh. Yep. I'm going to skip some of this. In Larian Studios' 2.5 decades of existence, he's had plenty of opportunities to translate that tabletop storytelling into video game format through Divinity series and other projects. But now, one of the most recognizable tabletop-based RPGs has fallen into Larian's lap, and the studio's desire to bring true tabletop storytelling to video games is proving to be a profound challenge. He describes Baldur's Gate 3 as a dream project for Larian, understandably so given its history. First two Baldur's Gate games were BioWare developed RPG set in the familiar D&D campaign setting of the Forgotten Realms, and while there have been various expansions and enhanced editions since Baldur's Gate 2 in 2000, hasn't been a true third game until now. Larian, with its Divinity track record, seems a perfect fit for Baldur's Gate 3 and came with the built-in advantage of early access experience. Both Divinity 1 and 2 had gone through extensive, successful early access periods where Larian worked closely with the community to iron out each game's wrinkles. Studio spent over a year in pre-production, hired for many new positions, and made the best projections it could for how many words the game would have, how much recording time would be needed, what would have to happen to make all the cinematics, and so much more. Ultimately, it wouldn't be enough on its own, in no small part because of the enormity of trying to convert the complexities of a Dungeon and Dragons game, where players can do anything they can think of, effectively, into a video game system. Yo, rando mode time, by the way. Pinky, what's up, buddy? My rando mode trumped your. What's up, dude? um, let me see. So because of the complexities of the game and player choices, uh, multiplayer, numerous languages, all the dialogue, uh, on top of maybe somebody that had never played a D&D game before, became apparent to Larian that they could not ship the game they wanted to make with the team they had. So it was either their options were either scale the game down or grow the studio. So they grew from 150 people to 400. That's a significant increase. Yeah, no worries, buddy. No worries. It's good to see you. Larian had the resources to do it thanks to how well Divinity 2 sold. The upscale came with its own problems. Larian didn't have processes in place for so many people. Sheer volume of work, teams, and individuals quickly revealed weaknesses and how they worked together that hadn't been apparent before. And the COVID-19 pandemic certainly didn't help matters either, with Vink saying that the fragmentation of the company necessitated by lockdowns was not necessarily the best thing in the world for boosting creativity. Between all these obstacles, there came a point ahead of early access where production nearly ground to a halt. Every single week, we woke up and said, okay, this is the week we're going to finish this feature. And then at the end of the week, nothing happened. At one point, Vink wondered if Larian should even put Baldur's Gate 3 into early access. For both the Divinity games, the advantages have been very clear, which was player feedback had made the games better. They had built considerable goodwill within the community as well with that. So Larian wanted that for Baldur's Gate 3, given its complexity, but were worried it was too big. So I'm not gonna go through the rest of this. I'll put this in chat. But apparently there was yeah, I mean significant. They went from 150 people all the way to 300. Um Look, this community loves CRPGs, and there are a lot of individuals within our community that that became part of what we do here because of us playing CRPGs. Yeah. So to read this article and look, Baldur's Gate traditionally is very you know legendary through the CRPG world and trend setting. Many other games have been developed in with respect to Baldur's Gate and what it brought to the gaming world, and have built off of what Baldur's Gate traditionally did so well. So, knowing that Larian is taking the game, decided to not scale it down, to continue making it big, doing the best they can to give us a great game in a very large way, and do that to the best of their ability by increasing staff rather than scaling the game down. I think that's a testament to their commitment to trying to bring us a great title, and I truly hope it is. I truly hope it is. Um, so great stuff. Great stuff. Um, let's see. That's all we got for news today. Yeah, that's news for 10th of April. Cool, 10th of April. Um, these are um, segments. I think I'm gonna start putting these news segments on their own. Yo, Gab, what's up? Um, and then I'm gonna start putting these news segments out on YouTube by themselves, just so people can take a look at maybe what we went over. So um, see if people are interested in just watching a bit of what we came across in news. So if you enjoyed some of what we came across, consider hitting that like button, maybe subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow for our next news segment. Cool. Thanks.